Net income. Well, let's calculate total equity first. Total equity gross minus interest 95916. We're going to read off the net income from the income statement, obviously. What is the actual net income number? We all report it differently. Oh, net income to common stockholders, 10,482. Let's remember their sales. It was $67,537. Let's make sure that's the case. Yeah, and there's total assets 197,205. So let's calculate PM. I'm going to multiply it with 100 so that I can get it as a percent. Net income 10,482 divided by total equity 95,916. So that's 10.92%. It's not exceptionally high, but it is not uncommon for companies that need a lot of capital. No, I'm sorry. You're not telling me. I divided by the wrong thing. So they're keeping 15% of each sales, 15 cents of each sales as net income. ROA 100 times net income divided by total assets, 5.31%. ROE 95,916. So that 10.92%. You can immediately calculate EM as ROE divided by ROA. Let me write it explicitly. I could also calculate it using other means, but I'm lazy. This is easier. $2.05. So given this, if I ask you what is the debt equity ratio for Pfizer, what would you say? Remember, debt equity ratio is EM minus 1. Okay? So they have a debt equity ratio of 1.05. Again, I leave it as an exercise to you to do these for Eli Lilly. Let's stop here. Let's briefly talk about Wednesday. You know your groups. Is there anybody who doesn't know who's in that group? You do. All right. I don't know which groups. I'm going to randomly select. I'm going to do it at the game time, as we call it. But 4 of those groups are going to be competing. Now, if you're not here, and you have no excuse of not being here, A, you're going to lose your attendance point. B, for each question, it's as if you were here and you answered the question wrong. So cost of not being here is a lot more on Jeopardy days. All right? Then we'll kind of talk about the rules. I may end up stealing about 10 minutes after the class because since I'm going to explain it, it may take longer than it should. But hopefully we'll finish it in time. And the first time it's a little bit slow. And don't be too afraid of this. Those people, basically, for each question, there's going to be a group that selected that question. You're going to say, can I have cash flow for $500? We'll get the question. And we will also have randomly selected designated challengers among the students who are not in the competing groups that day. Then the group is going to say the answer is A. It's all multiple choice. You don't have to explain it. Okay. And let's say Bryce is the designated challenger. His job is to verbally to tell me whether he agrees with that. If he agrees and you guys are right, you both get 1 point. If you guys are wrong, you both get 0 points. He could also say, I know they're wrong, but I'm not necessarily sure what the right answer is. That's a disagreement. If you're right, he gets 0, you get 1. If you're wrong, you get 0, he gets 1. And the third one is basically in your face, I challenge you. You said A and he says C, okay? If he's right, if the C is correct, he gets 1.5 points. You get 0. If he's wrong, but you're also wrong, you both get 0s. If he's wrong, but you're right, you get your 1 point, but he gets negative 0.5. So he loses half a point from other points. So, and once that is done, the rest of you, through a little Google form I've done, is going to do the same thing, but silently. The questions you answer as a group counts 5 times. For each question, you're going to be involved in some capacity, either as the group who selected the question, either as designated challengers or silent challengers. If you're competing but you're not the group that's picked the question, you still have to do the silent. If you pick the question, that counts 5 times as much as silent challenge. So if you get it right, you essentially get 5 points out of 5. If you do silent challenge, you get 1 out of 1. If you do designated challenger, you get 3 out of 3. But these are random, so you're going to have equal opportunities. Just to end, outside of people who are in the group and designated challengers, the rest of you are free to talk to each other. Okay? This is not an activity that is just about the grade. It is kind of a learning activity. You can talk to each other. And historically, I've been doing this for over 10 years now. It varies from semester to semester, but the lowest average I ever had in Jeopardy scores, semester scores, was 75. I had as high as 85. I had students with 115% average in Jeopardy. Oh, among the groups, the usual scoring is based on 1-0s. But to determine who wins that day's tournament, I use the Jeopardy rules. If you pick the 500 question, you get 500 Jeopardy points for right, negative 500 for wrong. At the end of the day, we put them together. The group who wins the tournament gets their group score multiplied by 1.25. Each group is going to select 5 questions. So your group selected 5 questions, you got them all right. That's 5, right? But if you won the tournament, that's going to be 6.25. And remember, those things count 5 times as much. But let's say you missed one of them, you get 4, but you still won the tournament. Your 4 out of 5 is going to be 5 out of 5. If there is a tie, I divide the extra bump. So if 2 groups tied, so they get 1.125 each. It never happened, but if it's a triple tie, obviously I'm gonna divide it similarly. So relax, this is not about, and we're gonna talk about once I reveal the correct answer after everybody's done, we will actually have a discussion. Why is that answer correct? I'm gonna ask first typically to group, why did you pick that answer? And don't say because it felt right. You can say it, but you say, this is not a reason, but we picked it that way, then I'll open the discussion. Remember, that sort of reasoning is gonna help you in your final exam. Because in final exam, you're gonna get half the points for the right answer, which is gonna be only multiple choice, and half the points for convincing me why that answer should be right. If it's numerical, obviously you show me how you got it. If it's text, you're gonna go through, okay, here's the reason. Because you said so, valid statement, but that is not a reason. You have to make a logical argument. And they're not complicated, but don't say because it feels right. It feels right is not a reason. It's not a reasoning. Maybe the reason why you took that answer, but that's not why it is correct. All right? And your quiz is still up, your homework is still up. If you have any questions, email me, okay? And after 2 o'clock, if you really are stuck, you want to do a Zoom call, just let me know. I'll be at home, you can do it. On the homework or quiz. So if you want to talk about it, just let me know.